Dragon's Dogma is a game of awesome combat, smart, intelligent companion AI, and NPC and bandits that roam the countryside. But the real reason to play Dragon's Dogma are the amazing boss fights. Now, I don't have the time or money to make a long video explaining why you need to play, so I just wanted to show you a few hours of me playing this game, building my way up to be able to take on a boss. Starting off my adventure, I was doing nothing but catching lowly thieves as they robbed stores, catching them and turning them in for profit. Then, hunting out the sewers of the local village, killing these giant reptilian creatures, cutting off their tails, which is their weak point, earning more money to buy more gear. And even killing birds for profit. I then began to upgrade my weapons and armor, as well as add new skills to my arsenal. This took me over a couple hours before I was even ready to take on a boss. Found a local ogre taking a nice bath in the river, buffed all my characters, then charged into battle. The ogre was a tough opponent and had massive amounts of HP, which I could not see because I turned off all my UI settings just to make this more cinematic. So I could not tell whether this monster was anywhere near death. My companions decided to distract it for me, letting me to poke at its legs until maybe it fell over. Our main goal, though, was to get it to drop its weapon, and luckily one of my pawns were able to stun it, made it drop its weapon, allowing us to reduce its damage and potentially not one-shot me like it. I was able to block, barely, his attacks. Each one of them could result in my death. I'm just barely had enough stamina to even take a hit from its weapon while blocking. My companions are able to knock this creature down, allowing for a melee character like me to hit its vital points. I first wanted to try to get it to drop its weapon again, because that allowed us so much time to damage it, while I think my other companions are hitting its eye and head. After it recovers, it is mostly on fire, taking massive amounts of damage. I'm not sure how much this creature is taking, but I feel like we're close to victory. We are just dominating this fight as this creature is not able to even turn around and try to hit me at its legs. It's too focused on the creature's hitting it in its eye and setting it on fire. I think at some points during the fight, I had to set back and watch as this creature was swinging wildly. I could not get anywhere near it, for being hit once or twice could spell the end for me in this fight. Charging at its legs and trying to knock the weapon out of its hand one more time, giving me a little bit more pressure in the fight. It seems like it was just standing there in awe as we were just throwing everything we had at this creature. I grabbed onto its weapon, not a good idea. Luckily, it didn't do as much damage as previous attacks did before, so I healed up and got back into the fight. Grabbing onto its arm, trying to just, again, knock this weapon. I feel like the creature just could not understand what was happening to it at this point. It required so much brain damage from being stunned multiple times. It goes on a small rampage here, then just defaulting back into like arrest mode where he had to breathe. He could not handle the amount of how long this fight has been going on. I think right about here is when we looked at the creature and it just sort of gave up, and we were seconds away from defeating this thing, setting its arm on fire one last time, and a little bit more pokes on it, and it finally went down. I got its tusk, some of its meat, and a lot of XP and gold. I think I almost leveled up twice here, but the bosses are amazing. After defeating the boss, I decided to progress in the main story, which was mostly going into the catacombs and killing a bunch of skeletons, which are really strong, as one of them could break my shield easily. Luckily, we had barrels of fire we kept throwing at the skeletons, breaking them instantly. Taking on more undead the deeper we go, we realized that we were coming upon something a lot more dangerous. Sprinting down the corridor, but I stopped noticing a large figure in the distance. I stupidly charged at it and tried to immediately attack it. You didn't realize that this creature was a lot stronger than it actually is. My initial thoughts of this hallway would be too small to fight it, but my fears increased a lot more when I realized it would go after the woman pawns, which are my companions, more so than the men. So I was free, but my sorcerer, that's the main buff and damage of all of our pawns, is going to be targeted, which scared the heck out of me. After being crushed and almost instantly killed, I realized I need to be a lot more careful against this kind of creature. It seems to like to charge into opponents, and that gathers a perfect opportunity for me to jump on it, knocking it down. After taking too much damage at once, it seems to ball up in like a shield, and then when it needs to, it'll run away. Doing this, I suspected that since it's a troll, it's regenerating, if it doesn't have fire attached to it, sucking away its HP casually. After a few minutes of fighting it, I realized that I don't think we're doing much damage to this creature. It just isn't seeming to tire out at all. At the end, I decided that we need to run away because I do not think we have the damage to actually hurt this creature. I decided we need to begin to train and level up more before we can even begin taking on this creature. And I'll show you the progress of that training in the next video, but I want to thank y'all for watching, and please like and subscribe.